Alright, all you Titan fodder out there, let's talk about Attack on Titan, Chapter 110, titled Impostor. So, we have a bit of a flashback where we have Zeke Yeager talking to Levi Ackerman about how exactly he's able to turn people into Titans, specifically the people of Ragako, which is the town that Connie was originally from, and we see exactly how he managed to turn all the people, the citizens of that town, into titans. And this was using a concoction, using Zeke's own spinal fluid and sending it off into the wind, which engulfed the village. He says that once a subject of Ymir has uh, inhaled the gas, it paralyzes them, and with that, he's able to shift them all into Titans at his command. He's also able to impose his will upon these people because of his connection to the beast Titan. And Levi is having none of Zeke's shit. He is angry at the fact that he so callously talks about shifting people's lives this way. Zeke says that he had no choice but to do this, as he had to avoid any suspicion from the forces of Marley. He also asks if Levi will allow him to continue his experiments with Aaron, but Levi says he is not authorized to answer that. They both ultimately agree, though, that it is a mistake to continue to wait things out. And that is the crux of this chapter. Waiting can lead to more problems than anything else. We pick up with Yelena and Dot Pixis, where she admits to her secret meetings with Aaron, and ultimately she apologizes, saying that she had grown impatient with the Wall's lack of urgency towards their Earth flattening plan. She felt that Aaron had the same mindset of her as her, and she said that the military needed to be stirred into action. When she when Pixis asked why she hadn't just gone and talked to the Survey Corps, Elena simply just says that she just wanted to be recognized by Aaron, showing her to be a true fanatic in all of this. You know, she didn't want to confer with the other volunteers because she simply just didn't want their involvement in any of that. You know, and she ultimately says that Aaron's attack on Marley was a greater justice than she could have ever hoped for. You know, they were witnessing history in the making. And damn it, this is the part that really starts to worry me in a lot of places. This zealotry towards this goal, this fanaticism towards seeing Aaron as this messiah of the people. Aaron has never been that. Hell, what we're currently seeing in the recent third season is Aaron outright saying, I am not the one to save humanity. I am just another cog in the wheel. Someone else should take my place. You know, during that whole situation with the underground crystalline cavern, it's just like, no, that's not my part in things. But the shift that Aaron's had after meeting with Yelena and all this other stuff, something deeper is going on there. And I think it's weird that a lot of people haven't noticed this, both in the manga and in the real world. It's like so many people are championing Aaron as this unstoppable force of nature that will lead these people into, to victory. But it's just like, this isn't Aaron. Something is very off about the way that Aaron is acting and the way he's going about things. It just seems off. And we even go into the fact that just Yelena is just, acting behind the military's back, doing all these shady things. and saying that it's all for the sake of Eldia, you know, and Pixis is completely unconvinced. He says that, the best way to tell a good lie is to mix in the truth with it. There is something that she's hiding. And Pixis is one clever bastard. He knows what's up. Something is not right about all of this. We also pick up with Onyankopon meeting up with Hanji Zo. And his just expressing his disappointment at the fact that the volunteers have all been imprisoned under house arrest. Hanchi, apologizes, but also, quickly tells him about the secret meeting in order to just kind of catch him off guard, to gauge his reaction. And when Young Capone is just like completely caught off guard by this, he was not in the know whatsoever. At least that's what they gauge. And, he explains to Hanji that, the volunteers had sworn had gone with her, and she had sworn her loyalty to Zeke. And it was mostly through her ruthlessness in, taking out any kind of suspect. She capped a lot of dudes in the head in order to prove her loyalty. And, ultimately this shows that, something's off. Because Yelena had shown such a lack of compassion towards people when they were in Marley, but ever since they came to Paradise Island, she's been all about, peacefully capturing Marleyan citizens, trying to convince the people of the island to just give them their human rights and so on and so forth. Something is not right here, and it's off-putting that so many people didn't pick up on any of this. There is something shady going on with Zeke, Yelena, and Aaron himself. Meanwhile, we pick up with Armin meeting up with Annie, who's encased in crystal, because he's just trying to think about what to do next, hoping to unlock some form of memories that'll lead him in the proper direction. We also see the reintroduction of Hitch, who I don't actually remember if she had already been reintroduced, but she's got this new hairstyle going on that's cute AF. Just yum. Was that creepy? I think that was a little too creepy. My apologies. And she kind of calls Armin out of the whole situation. And as they walk away to the military base, Hitch informs Armin that the situation outside has really gotten out of hand, with a lot of people coming in to just protest the whole situation with Aaron, saying that the savior of, the Marleyan people should not be imprisoned, And there's just all this talk that this mob has is just out of control. Like, the way they talk about Aaron is just, like I said before, it reeks of fanaticism and just zealotry. There's something really wrong about the way people are viewing this whole situation. But ultimately, it also comes down to the fact that the military is not telling the populace enough. Like said in previous chapters, it's just like, with the current military keeping all these secrets, they're risking a coup very similar to what they did, with the people rising up against them because of the way they're running things. And Armin meets up with Mikasa because they've decided to go to Darius Zachary's office, the guy who's now in control of things for the most part in terms of the military, in order to, get a request in to visit Aaron. They also notice a group of, young cadets, new, scouting recruits, Survey Corps recruits, passing by, which is actually a bit of a big deal. When they get there, Zachary ultimately denies their request, saying that because Yelena has admitted to having unauthorized contact with Aaron, you know, Aaron could quite possibly just be under Zeke's control. There's something unsettling about this whole chain of events. It doesn't add up. Aaron going completely rogue, that's not like him. He's done a lot of things, but he's never just gone off the rails that way. And, Zeke's influence is the only thing that really explains it. Ultimately Mikasa asks what will happen to Aaron, but, Zachary only, you know, looks, gazes over at his custom chair. The one that he basically fed some of the nobles their own shit through. Yeah, the shit chair. Long live the shit chair. When they ask about the chair, though, he brushes it off, saying that the new recruits had to bring it there out of the storage as there was nowhere to put it. Um, and despite Armin's plea, Zachary ends their meeting saying that, you know, this situation requires a lot of caution. Once they leave, though, Armin admits that with what Zachary had told him, they're probably looking for a replacement for Aaron. Looking for someone who will be able to gain the power of the Titan, who will be a little bit more under control. However, before the discussion can get further underway, there's a goddamn explosion in Zachary's office that just completely erupts. And the next thing you know, you see Zachary's mangled and torn up body falling before the gate where the mob of people all is. And it's just like everyone's freaking out like, oh my god, what happened? Holy crap, what the hell? But next thing you know, the protesters start spitting out all this, zealot shit, like saying that's just like, hey, chanting, devote your hearts. It's just like, this is what you get. You should have freed Aaron. He'll lead us into the new dawn. Blah blah blah. Like, Jesus Christ, people, no. And that's the ultimate downside to a coup. A lot of times when you have a revolution where you overthrow a form of monarchy, it doesn't always go that great. Hell, look at one of the most famous revolutions in history, the French Revolution. Once a lot of the high class nobles got killed off through the guillotine, a lot of the revolutionary leaders were seen as, you know, tyrants themselves and were executed as well. Sometimes when you stage a coup, it doesn't quite go the way you would hope. Things work themselves out later down the line, but it's not always that simple. And later that night, the military branches all convene, talking about the reports of the blast that killed 4 people, including Zachary, and that the bomb was, Armin saying that the bomb was probably planted in Zachary's custom chair. He mentions the fact that some recruits had, put it in his office. He mentions that he noticed some recruits leaving Zachary's office, all that good stuff. But before anything can really go underway, suddenly one of the soldiers bursts through saying that Aaron used his freaking Titans to escape from the underground cell. And when they look at it, there's a giant hole that's covered up with crystal. And now there's this massive manhunt going on for Aaron. And things are just spiraling out of control. And the fact that Aaron is not telling the people closest to him about the situation. There is no reasoning behind why Aaron has not told anybody about what he's doing. there's no reason for him to have not said anything to his closest friends. We've been shown that Aaron's personality has remained consistent up until about a year ago, before he went over to Marley. That is too sudden a change of heart for Aaron. It's unnatural. It is just off putting. There is something not right about what is currently going on. And as we see Aaron going through this mountain and path, he ends up meeting with, of all people, Flock. Friggin' Flock. Something don't smell right here, man. Something don't smell right here. And, you know, he had been broken out of prison by co-conspirators who told him about the whole situation with the assassination of Zockley, and he hands over this black hooded jacket to Aaron. Aaron's going full Sasuke Uchiha here, man. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all got war flashbacks by me saying that, but that's what this feels like. He's pulling a Sasuke Uchiha. And Aaron just gives them the command that they need to locate Zeke. And it's just like, yo, Aaron, bro, people are dying over this stuff. You need to, this ain't right. Aaron is not reacting correctly to this situation. And as Armin and Mikasa depart in a carriage to go looking for Aaron, and hopefully to just get him to understand where they're coming from and to open up about the situation. Of all people, we see that Peak has infiltrated the walls yet again. The people of Marley are already in the walls. That means that Reiner is here, Peak is here. The whole Titan Marley forces are probably already in the walls. Like, shit is popping off here. It is popping off. Chaos is reigning. People are dying. It's getting crazy. And it's hard to know where this is all going, because it's obvious Zeke is playing an angle. It's obvious Aaron is acting out of character. It's obvious Yelena is up to something. It's obvious the people involved here are up to something that goes beyond the scope of what they're saying should happen. It is so obvious something bad is about to pop off, and Aaron is distancing himself from his emotions or something, because it feels like this is a genocide plan, that they're just gonna have the world wiped out at the end of this, because that's the only thing that accounts for the way that Aaron's acting, that he's just decided to go full on scorch the earth and nobody will survive or something. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about the way that Aaron and the volunteer forces are acting? Can Onyakapon be trusted? Will Armin and Mikasa actually manage to talk to him and get a straight answer for once? What about the Titan forces from Marley? How much havoc do you think they'll wreak now that they're within the walls? Will they remain stealthy, or will they actually go full force? Just, there's a lot of elements swimming around right now on Paradise Island, and it's all gonna come to a head in one of the most ridiculous ways possible, more than likely. But again, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave me a like if you liked what I had to say about this chapter, or a dislike if you didn't. Let me know where I stand, and subscribe for more Attack on Titan chapter reviews. Thanks for joining me.